Welcome to TCH Live. We are in Austin, Texas for a special event. We have the Showdown at the Capitol. You can see on your screen almost 25,000 for first place in this weekend event. 118K in the prize pool, well above the guarantee. Kyle Frisbee joining you this afternoon. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Joined in the booth here by John Good. John, happy Memorial Day to you.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? Happy Memorial Day. How we doing? We got a good-looking tournament here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this final table plays out. We have a lot of regular tournament faces on these final tables. I was about to say pros. Some are pros. Some are just regular crushers.
Yeah, definitely our local pros.
Yeah.
Nate and Bill and the regulars, Keller.
Yeah. And Howard, though, the chip leader at just under 2.3 million. We've got the 40K big blind. And Outlaw, the short stack coming into the final table, but we've certainly seen players go from bottom of the leaderboard with 9 all the way to taking down the trophy. The trophy, definitely one of my most coveted for this event. The monthly Showdown at the Capitol is a nice limestone trophy that would look great on my mantle maybe someday, but it'll be one of these players this weekend.
Yeah, definitely a good trophy. It's attainable, $400 into 25K. I mean, can't complain with that.
Pretty good ROI. And looking back to the payouts here, all these players have locked up 2460, so as you'll typically see, about 10x the difference between 9th and 1st. So definitely not the time to rest on your laurels and just be happy with what you've locked up. There's a ton of money to be played for, and looks like we're having a graphical issue. Yeah, here we got some cards. That's what we came for.
Yeah, and while Outlaw is the short stack, the only player under 10 bigs, like you're saying, it's really anyone's tournament with how the chips are right now.
King Queen suited. Good hand to open with from the hijack for Josh B. He agrees. Seen Josh, his name on quite a few tournament chip count leaderboards over the last several weeks. He's just going to take down the blinds here. Yeah,
late in the tournament, you get a hand that good. You maybe want some action, but when you're final table, you're happy to take down any and every pot.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and especially the first one with not a super premium.
For the nerves.
Maybe this is saying something about me, but I'm pretty happy just to take down the blinds with King Queen to kick things off.
Yeah, I'm with you. You don't want to really get 3-bet by a Howard or a Nate with King Queen suited, then that hand is not feeling as good. So just taking it down. Never a bad option. Got Killa K in the building too.
Is that his nickname?
Yeah, that's Kayam's. I'm surprised he didn't use it for this one, but yeah, Killa K. Looks like he's opening Jack 4 suited under the gun.
Gonna get a little frisky to start things off. 120K, so goes the full 3x.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna work too.
Yeah, I believe we have a 3-bet. No, we do not. That.
Yeah, I think he just opened large.
Okay, I see. Good enough to take it down. We'll be with you, of course, until the conclusion of this tournament. So settle in. If it's raining in your area, in the Austin area, which I know there's pockets of it, good time to come inside, watch some poker.
Yeah, the rain's been kind of weird the past couple days. Pouring down and then sunshine, but that's Texas for you.
Yeah, fortunately, some intermittent sunshine. We had a period a few weeks back where it was just cold and rainy, and reminded me why I don't live in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Howard with the suited 9-8 is going to open the pot at a little over 2x.
Ooh.
Bill C waking up with the first monster, and he
baby.
immediately ships ace king and is going to run right into Jody's kings. What a disaster spot. Jody does not cover Bill, however, so will have chips either way if he's not able to spike an ace or some kind of straight or flush.
Yeah, at stack depth, nothing either of these players can do. The money is going in. Let's see who's feeling fast early on.
There's the ace.
Bill Cox.
Dagger for Jody's,
Yeah.
looking for the final king and does not come.
One out. Heart's working for Bill also. Not that it mattered, but
You know, maybe it's good I didn't get it out, but I almost said Bill runs good in these spots. And there's the ace and a smile on his face. So he's gone from one of these shorter stacks to now kind of middle-ish of the pack. We'll see here. He's now fifth in chips. Relatively in essentially a tie all the way up to around second place with Nate. He's got a little bit of separation, and then Howard really with the lone bigger stack, but no overwhelming chip leader as we see sometimes.
yeah, definitely anyone's game here. Bill trying to stay hot, coming off one of the probably his favorite wins of his life.
Yeah, I got a chance to play with him in a tournament after that. Of course, Bill winning a ring in our recent World Series of Poker circuit event, which is coming back to Austin in September. So if you got to enjoy it here recently, it'll be back before you know it. We're all very excited. And got a limp from Nate with ace-4, and another appearance of Big Slick. Outlaw is going to raise to 150 over the limper, sizes up a tad, although this is about half his stack, so essentially a committing raise.
Yeah. Letting people know he's ready to play for stacks.
Yeah, and that's going to get a fold, and he'll chip up to just under $500,000. See a couple folks in chat. Good afternoon back at you. MMA, good to have you as always. Polarizing says today to remember those who have fallen. Certainly is. Seen a lot of patriotic outfits today.
I can't really pull off the flag outfit, but sure would like to one of these days.
I have one single flag-related article of clothing that I wore at the gym today. It's Keller has got kings and big hands early all over the table. Bill's going to go ahead and flat the smidge over 2x raise, and now KM with ace-jack on the button.
Yeah, and he's not going to slow play it.
Yeah, this 3-bet is going to be met with a lot of resistance. Don't blame him for doing it. It is a good squeeze spot, but just going to run into kings.
Yeah, this 3-bet's going to work a very high percentage of the time.
Yeah.
And Keller, really great player, more than capable of having out-of-the-line hand here.
Yeah. He's going to ask for the rest of it, and unfortunately, KM has put around a third, maybe a little more of his stack in the pot already.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kay's going to be able to fold here. He put in 380. Yeah, he's got to go with it. And he will. Cam, not one to worry about pay jumps. He's here for the trophy, so when you can throw ICM out the window, it does allow for you to play a bit different.
It's going to be a big pot, just over $2 million, and king's still good on 6-4-3. One final river card for KM to stay alive and does not improve, so Keller going to win a big one, and KM going to be our 8th place finisher, finishing with 31.60. Everyone locking up 38.70.
Look at the graphic. Put an ace on the river just to.
It's just a little.
It's a needle. The Barry Greenstein did not happen there, folks. Keller, kings held. That's already the second time we've seen kings, and third time we've seen ace king. No ace king there. They are getting some premiums out. Julia didn't come to wait around.
Yeah, a flurry of premium hands to start things off. It's kind of funny. Sometimes it feels like we wait, 15, 20 hands before somebody has a monster, but
yeah,
coming in hot.
Yeah, it's funny how it happens different.
Yeah, it really is.
All the hands right away.
Yeah, doing so many streams, it shows you the variance of 9 players in a stream can be so high. So just extrapolate that down to a single player. You can just definitely explains how you can go through long periods of running maybe not favorably or extremely hot. Try to focus on the extremely hot.
Yeah.
Howard going to raise Jack Deuce suited under the gun. Seems like these players trying to have kind of a polarizing under the gun range, which I know has been somewhat of a fad. And there is a diamond draw, but top pair for Josh.
Yeah.
And Outlaw.
Probably going to get a little bit of action here. Unless Josh is too worried about his kicker. But when you're opening the Jack Deuce suited.
Yeah, the pair and the flush draws got the most equity. And Outlaw actually with the best hand at the moment. But sitting on the short stack. So we've got a bet and a call from Outlaw. And over to Nate. He's now folded his sixes. Get these graphics caught up in a moment. Julia pausing things while the action tracker, who in fairness to them did this in the middle of the night. This was a very late final table, so hopefully we get this sorted out. Players waiting mostly patiently.
So Outlaw on that pot, I believe?
Yeah, I don't see cards, so I'm not sure exactly what we're waiting on. Apologies, folks. It'll probably become clear here in a moment. We've got tournament director Josh Atkins coming to talk to Julia, so unfortunately with this happening in the past we can't go ask details, but maybe it'll become clear. So like it appears, yeah, I'm not sure who won. I think they're trying to maybe sort out who won that last hand because I see blind money out. And Julia has, I believe, yet to pitch the first card of what should be hand number 7.
Yeah, possibly got stack numbers off.
All right, looks like we're back in business. Julia, back to pitching cards. Apologies for the impromptu short break there, but back to the action. And hey, Suited Jack gets folded under the gun. What do you know?
Outlaw didn't quite have the chip stack to be out of line as everyone else.
Carlos, I've played a fair amount of poker with him. He'll make it 2x with a couple of threes. From the cutoff, and over to Howard in the big blind. He's got an ace. See how he wants to defend here, as well as plenty of chips. Gonna go ahead and flat. King deuce 8. 3 still good. Relatively dry king high board is not terrible for the threes.
No, any king high board's always going to be good for the pre-flop aggressor. And ace 7, I think it's a pretty decent candidate for a 3-bet here, but Howard decides to play passive. He hasn't really seen Carlos get out of line yet at this final table.
Nice pickup for Carlos. He's over 1 million chips in his stack. Carlos is a very savvy player. I, for one, have been called by, I think it was third or fourth pair when I was bluffing with ace-king that missed. So he certainly has great instincts at the table, or at least he did in that instance. And probably required to navigate this field of over 300 to this final 9. So one of the tougher fields you're going to encounter as well in a regular local tournament.
Yeah, it's always soul crushing when you get picked off by bottom pair and you're going for a bluff, and it's like, man, what did you think I had? Nothing. Correct.
Start questioning yourself. Did I have a physical tell? Was my size wrong?
Yeah. Not good for the mojo. Outlaw's got to be excited to see 2 players gone already, and people are not scared to play pots, not worrying about the ICM at all. And Outlaw is ecstatic.
Get the payouts back on your screen here after a hand or two, but we are playing for just a tad under 25K up top. And all these players have locked up just over 3,000. Folds over to Josh. He's got King Jack offsuit, and he'll make a raise to 80K.
Howard,
yeah.
looking like he's ready to get out of line.
Yeah, 3-bet comes in on the button, and he's going to attack what could be a lighter raise from the cutoff by Joshua, and is in fact on the lighter side, although be interesting to know what history these 2 players have versus each other. It could be that he's aware that Josh opens relatively wide from late position.
Yeah, a lot of things working here. I think the main thing that Howard's got going for him this hand is Joshua's stack size. Josh has so many chips to be getting involved. When you look over at Outlaw, who's got less than 10 bigs, it's really tough to justify playing a big pot there with the chip leader who has position on you when somebody is so close to busting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, if Howard was... Ironically, Josh's stack is exactly what Howard wants to be applying pressure to in this situation for all the reasons you just said, John. Nate with the locally somewhat controversial OKC hat on.
Yeah, usually anytime there's a team anywhere near us, everyone's rooting for them, but not this time. San Antonio, even closer. Austin needs to just get their own team. We don't have to worry about rooting for these other guys.
Yeah, I was tempted to go when the Spurs played at least one game. It might have been two here in Austin, but I think they're trying to own that whole market.
Yeah. Texas is a good market to go after.
Keller now chip leading, 2.3 million.
Keller is not a guy you want to see with chips if you are at the table.
No, top player.
If you are Keller, you're very excited to see Keller with chips. So there's at least one person at that table happy for him. Nate, he sees that cookie jar and he just cannot help himself. He wants a cookie.
2X with the 7-3 suited under the gun, and it seems like a pretty obvious trend here. The players willing to play a pretty wide range with their UTG raises, given exactly what happens there. You're going to get a lot of respect from an under the gun raise, so sometimes can be a little easier to seal pots, although the obvious downside is you have no information on what anybody has behind you. But
yeah, kind of interesting. We haven't really seen anyone get punished for the under the gun shenanigans, and we have seen quite a few shenanigans thus far.
And the one punishment was Josh opening the pretty reasonable king jack from the cutoff, and gets punished by the big stack.
Gets punished.
The one move I would have made didn't work.
Just silly game.
Ace king suited for Outlaw, and the short stack is just gonna limp and gonna play with some fire here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, how is the rest of the table gonna perceive this? It looks extremely strong.
Yeah, Carlos just gonna complete from the small blind, and Nate Queen 7 is gonna check back.
Outlaw doesn't like that. Nate is probably who he was targeting when he was limping here.
Gonna be rewarded though. King high flop and set up for a double after somewhat of a disastrous pre-flop set of actions, and Carlos checks the King 10, and with Outlaw stack goes tiny.
Yeah, Carlos has got to pay at least one bet here. Let's see.
Scary turn card brings in much wetter board.
And Outlaw fades it. Oh, is he not going to go for any more value here? Oh, no.
Yeah, it looks like he's all in and there's a call, so ignore the graphics here. Got an all in and a call, I believe. No. So Carlos actually wins the pot. I wish we could have seen the action on the river, or the turn and river there, but it looks like that scare card got Outlaw to fold.
Wow.
As the pot gets pushed to Carlos in the 8 seat.
Interesting stuff there. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what happened, to be honest with you, but I'm also not sure of Outlaw's thought process.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not a favorable turn, but you're so pot committed. Nonetheless, we move on, and Bill with King Jack suited is going to raise to 100K. Three bet from Nate with King 8. And Bill's going to go ahead and call, and this is for a big chunk of really both players' chips. And that's a very nice flop for Bill's King Jack, top pair. Great kicker.
These guys have played a lot of poker together going back to the old lodge days of the Tuesday free roll, and I don't think Bill is ever going to fold a hand this strong to my man Nate here. And he's just going to rip it, looks like.
Yeah, insta-rip, insta-fold, and Bill chipping up to just under $2 million. And once upon a time, just 12 hands ago, he was one of the shorter stacks, and now he is creeping up on Keller. Just about 300K and change behind the chip leader.
Yeah, that's what we're saying about tournament poker. It can just change on a dime. One hand is really all it takes, but you can go from 2 big blinds to 15 big blinds in 2 hands, and you just have to have patience, guys.
Yeah, one thing I admire, and probably true for several players at this table, but certainly for Bill, what I've noticed calling final tables that he's been at, he is completely unfazed by the situation.
Yeah.
He's going to play boldly and just how he would at any other time, no matter what the stakes.
Yeah, I agree.
Raise from Keller, ace-queen suited. After a limp from Outlaw, Outlaw will go ahead and make the call with the ace-10.
Yeah, it looks like Outlaw's going to stick with the limping strategy. Oh.
That is the nuts with a gut shot royal flush draw for Keller. And flops Outlaw nearly dead. And Outlaw is going to jam. And Keller.
This is my hand, right? Okay.
Gonna call. And Keller's set to extend the chip lead unless an extraordinary turn and river come to fruition. Oh, there's one of the cards. 4 outs.
When you go from 2% to 6%.
Oh, wow. That would have been quite the suck out.
Yeah, Ray, I think what happened there was his chip count was off prior, so he didn't win the ace-king hand, but he had more chips than previously listed, so that's why the stack was off.
So Outlaw going to exit in 7th. Going to just about 10x his $400 buy-in. Going to take down 38.70. All these players now locking up 4,600 and change.
Yeah, Bill at another final table. He usually just stays at the final table. Sometimes he doesn't play the whole tournament. They just let him go straight to the final table with average stack. And
yeah, he is epic. That is right. Lawrence. Race from Howard with ace-9-0, and Keller's got jack-7 in the big blind. Will not defend versus one of the other big stacks. A6 finds a muck for Carlos. And jacks for Joshua. He's got 1.3 and change. He's going to go ahead with his standard open 2x. unfortunately for him, does not get 3-bet this time by Howard, and just going to take down the blinds.
Yeah, everybody getting out of the way quickly.
Pay jump's starting to get more meaningful, so next pay gap is around 1K. So probably after the next elimination, that'll be a bit more on players' minds than as we kick things off, when players much more incentivized just to try to get a chip stack going to have some chance of winning the tournament. Ace-9 for Keller on the button. Good enough to make it 125,000.
Yeah, Keller with some chips now. He's going to be opening up more, and as we get six-handed, or lower and lower, it's going to be more opportunities to steal and less places to hide.
Yeah, and I've seen some talk in terms of, from a GTO perspective, varying your open sizes based on position, and some players going with a bit larger size in spots like Keller had just there. I'm not sure if that's exactly what was going through his mind, but nonetheless, pretty happy to take down the blinds and ante with ace-9 off. And Howard with a bit better ace. He's got ace-jack. He'll open to 125. Or excuse me, 100K even.
No resistance for Howard this time. Just going to take down the blinds and antes.
Blinds are up, 25, 50K now. Short stack is Carlos, but he's still got 15 bigs, and so nobody in desperate shape here. Everybody can still wait for a reasonable spot.
Yeah, I agree. No need to panic for Carlos. Still plenty of time. The hands are going to be coming quick, so you can't be too patient here as it gets shorthanded, but still no need to just spaz and get it in.
Thanks everybody who's hopped in the chat so far. Kyle Frisbee and John Good with you this Memorial Day afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good time, staying safe out there, and thank a veteran.
Don't pinch them. Very easy to get that confused.
It's not that holiday. Carlos with Jack-9 on the button is going to go ahead and open to 115. And it looks like that's going to take down the blinds, so not inconsequential to his stack to chip up 125 to about 900,000.
Yeah. Big just to take that down.
Yeah, earn yourself at least a full free orbit to find a good spot. $105 now for Carlos with the ace jack.
Nice lay down by Nate there. I know he wanted to go for it every opportunity, but thinks better of it. Maybe he gets a little read off Carlos. He's not opening light there.
Yeah, and Carlos opening 2 pots in a row picks up $250,000 in chips, and that's a nice chip up. In fact, goes from worst to, well, second to last in chips, but he does pip Nate at this point. But both, as we said a bit ago, pretty comfortable. They have 20 bigs each.
Yeah, he's been clawing at Nate for a while now, and he is able to catch him. But
J.R. Lowe saying always interesting to see who's going to get aggressive and try to take advantage at the latter stages of the tournaments. Definitely agree. You certainly learn on these final tables. Typically, who's been there before kind of seems to show through, and also who's kind of playing for ladders versus all out to win the tournament, and also who has actually studied these latter stages of tournament strategy. If you have not studied them and haven't found yourself there many times, it is kind of deep waters.
yeah.
King, King, Jack, nobody really connecting, although Bill would have a gut shot to a queen. And now a pair of nines.
It's good with 10 high. Didn't need it. 3-4 in the muck. On to the next. Interesting to see the fold there. The Jack 4 suited, the Jack Deuce suited. Those are the hands we raise with. The King 10 suited finds the muck. Bill's gonna get a walk with the 10-5.
Really is, to your point earlier, John, kind of anybody's game still. I mean, Nate's double up from trading stacks with Howard, who's second in chips.
Yeah, everyone over $1 million, no one under $3 million. Everyone's in the running right now.
Josh waking up with a couple of tens in the hijack. We'll make it 100K even. Folds quickly to Carlos with the robbery. Jack 4 off, and he'll let her go. Tell you what, Josh has had some hands, and just every time just taking down the blinds for the most part.
Another good one for Josh.
He's due for some action when he actually has a playable hand, so typically you're also going to get maybe a little less respect if you've been opening a few pots. Sticks with his standard raise of 2x, and once again folds quickly to the small blind. And I think this would make 4 or 5 times. Although Nate's got a suited ace, he's definitely not folding. He's at least going to defend. Raise does come from under the gun, and Nate will make the call. King 6 tray, and Nate actually out-flopping Josh. Josh, unfortunately, no heart. And there's 2 pair, but now top pair, but the 4 flush comes in, and neither player are going to be thrilled about this 4th heart. Check, check. And river is a boat for Nate.
Now he's praying he's got a heart, that Josh has a heart, but as played, Nate's got to think Josh doesn't have a heart and probably has pretty close to what he has. Ace, queen, ace, jack, no heart. So he's going to go half pot, little more.
Yeah, trying to get a call from a heart, and
he does.
Yeah, he's going to get
Great
called
sizing.
by the ace, and don't blame Josh there. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice size. I agree, John.
Yeah, I can't blame Josh for making a call there. Nate's got a lot of bluffs there, but not this time as he goes runner, runner, boat.
Nate now up to 1.3 million, and Josh with a small hit, but still at 1.2 and 24 big blinds.
Yeah, Nate and Josh just going to trade places there.
Raise from Carlos, sitting on the short stack. He's got ace 8, and last trip around the table, he opened both button and cutoff, and both times took down the blinds. And once again, going to pick up the blinds in this spot as well, so he's right back to his 1 million chip stack. Always nice when all your lighter blind steals just get easy folds.
Yeah, isn't it nice when they're just folding the light ones, calling when you have it. Poker's easy.
Such a different experience than when you open light and you don't even get through the player to your immediate left. always a stinging feeling. Carlos has got 10s, raised from Bill, and just gonna flat with the tanks.
I don't love this. I'm not gonna lie, but I do kind of like it. You have to flat some of your stronger hands here just to protect your range. Like, you should never always be doing something, right? Like, if you're always doing something, you're probably wrong.
Yeah, Howard comes along, and he shares the ace with Bill, so Carlos is actually in pretty good shape here with 10s, and 7 high flop might get Howard in some trouble.
Wow. What an amazing spot for 10s here. Flatting, just so dangerous. 3 ways, and you just have them crush, and they're just sharing the card they need.
And Howard's going to go ahead and lead.
Yeah, I don't mind a lead
Carlos
here. A favorable board for the big blind.
Yeah, here comes the raise. I think that's absolutely mandatory. Cannot let overcards come on the turn.
Yeah, and
for
diamonds.
cheap.
Howard does have the ace of diamonds, which might help make this decision for him.
Probably also asking himself, if I'm going to call 375, what turn cards am I going to fold for 520 when we...
Yeah, into 1.3
yeah,
now.
It's just not a whole lot. I think probably making the decision of, do I put it in now or do I consider giving up?
He's going to come along. Can't blame him here.
Looking for an ace or a 7. Diamond also helps. And there is the diamond, and definitely not the card Carlos was hoping to roll off.
Carlos
Now got a 4-liner to a straight.
Carlos
Flush gets
is
there.
not going to like that card.
Yeah, and Howard's also in the big blind, so he's going to have all the hands that interact with this. And obviously he does have one, but not one that beats Carlos yet. But that's a lot of outs, 12 outs for Howard, and he is going to go ahead and ask for the rest of Carlos's stack, or very close to it, if we have Carlos's stack correct. Looks like Carlos might have a few more chips. That looks like about 700K.
Yeah, stack size is off a little bit here.
Yeah, 7, 8. He looks like he has about 8.
Oh, and he
gets
folds.
the 10s to fold. And
Howard.
nice move by Howard.
With some wiggle to his waggle, and he gets shown the 10, so he knows he did, in fact, bluff.
Very nice move. Aggression paying off for Howard, and close to neck and neck with Keller for the chip lead. And quick reminder for any of you joining us late, we are playing for 24-6 up top in this $400 buy-in Showdown at the Capitol monthly signature event here at TCH Social in Austin, Texas. All these players have now locked up 46-10. So about 20K left to battle over.
And Carlos possibly steaming as he opens the King 9 off after we just last orbit saw him fold the King 10 suited in the same situation.
Couple of 7s for Josh. Pot has already been opened, and he's going to flat with position.
Yeah, it's a standard play.
And big stack going to wake up with queens. What a spot here for Howard.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a great squeeze spot.
Exactly.
And he just has it. Oh, and he's going to go for all of it. Really not many other sizings. Well, actually, I disagree. With Keller behind, he could have gone much smaller there. But he decides to let Keller not even think about it. I'm gonna get rid of Carlos, and now the real hand, 7s.
Yeah, it just feels kind of icky calling off this many chips with a pair of 7s. To your point, John, I agree. Looks very squeezy. But he is going to make the call,
yeah.
and Josh going to need help. Sees the bad news from Howard.
7's always in my tournament, too.
Mike Ricciardi in the box. Going to give us a flop, turn, and river, and looking for some help for Joshua, or he'll be our 6th place finisher. Ten high, no help on the flop. Looking for a black 7.
Oh,
More outs.
a little bit of help there.
4 7. does not come, and Howard gonna win a 2.3 million chip pot, and now he has cracked the 4 million chip mark and re-separating himself atop the leaderboard.
Yeah, good game, Josh. That's gonna be our biggest pot of the tournament so far, I believe.
Yeah,
huge spot.
Yeah, tough spot there for Josh for all the reasons. I think particularly the fact that it looked like such a squeeze-heavy spot. Josh is going to be our 6th place finisher, 46.10 in his pocket, and all these players now locking up 5,570, and pay jumps now almost 2K to ladder up.
Yeah, getting some serious dough for those ladder ups now.
Nate with another A6. Made a boat with it last time, so why not?
Yeah. This is your hand.
$115K is the raise.
Bill with the ace-9, gonna defend.
3-4-7 rainbow, and the ace-9 still good, but gut shot now for Nate. 6 or 5 would improve him to the best hand, and he is going to go ahead and continue betting.
Yeah, it's a good flop for Nate. Not his perceived range, but his actual hand does flop pretty well here.
Goes with a smaller-ish sizing, and Bill going to come along with his 2 overs. Turns another 4, and see what Nate wants to do here. If he's going to keep bluffing, his stack's kind of in a precarious spot with 20 bigs left behind.
Yeah, if you're going to get this pot away from Bill, I think the turn is where you need to do it. And it does. Great bet by Nate.
Very nicely done, and he's up to 1.5, and much more comfortable than if he'd have shut down and had the pot taken away by Bill and left with under 1 million in chips.
Yeah.
Carlos, you can see the bottom there. The chip count is a bit off, so just from a visual count standpoint, I believe he has more in the 600 to 700K range, so not quite as desperately short. But is our short stack, so I'm seeing 600, maybe 675 there.
Yeah,
do you agree,
right.
John?
Yeah. Unless he has one more blue there, but I don't think he does. I think it's just one blue.
Button raised with the 7-3-0 by Keller. And that's good enough to take down some blinds.
Yeah, Keller going to start applying pressure here in spots like that. Bill, being in between the two of them, doesn't want to get in the way. And then Carlos with King 8, you know, mediocre, not good enough to defend. And Keller's just going to take down blinds and just print in that spot.
Ace and a 9 for Howard and 4 million in chips. It's going to go ahead and open to 125.
Quick folds by everybody. Nate with the 9 deuce off in the big blind. No need to continue.
See one of our wait staff taking Bill's order there. We do have a full restaurant and bar here at TCH Social. Excellent food, excellent value as well. People always talk about not only is the food great, but the pricing extremely reasonable for what you get.
See, they got some new tacos that everybody seems
The
pretty
Berea
excited
tacos.
about.
Yeah. This is about the 4th independent time I've heard about how good the Berea tacos are.
You've tried them?
I have not tried them, but they definitely need to be on the list because they've literally just randomly come up at tables I've been on, and seems to be a hit.
They look so good. I think I'm going to try some after this.
Yeah, a little post-stream
Yeah.
taco. 6-5 suited for Nate. He's going to go ahead and complete in the small blind. Howard, 5-3 suited, is not going to stand for limping, and he's going to flick out another 100,000 in chips.
Yeah, Nate's got a hand that plays very well post flop. Surprisingly to him, he's got his opponent dominated here, but
yeah, definitely not what you're thinking when you play 6-5 suited to have your opponent dominated. And there's a 6, so Nate
and the gut shot for Howard.
in good shape. Backdoor clubs
Backdoor
as
clubs,
well.
Yeah. We got some things working this hand. And blind versus blind is always gonna linger in the back of someone's brain. Like, you can't have it. It's blind versus blind. Impossible.
Yeah, Nate checks, and Howard going to keep the pressure up as we would expect, and certainly has the opportunity to really lean on Nate here, given Carlos's short stack and just having middle pair. But once Nate connects, I don't think he's ever going to just fold to one bet.
No, he's also got backdoor diamonds working for him.
Deuce pairs. Nate's still way ahead. Howard looking for a 4 on the river. None of the backdoor draws materialize. Howard keeping the heat up, 350,000. This is now about a third of Nate's stack.
Yeah, it's a great bet here by Howard. For repping the king, is Nate gonna buy what he's selling? And
Reaching for chips, and I do not envy this spot whatsoever.
no.
Nate just trying to decide, does Howard have a king or not? Gonna just make the call. He is not going down without a fight, and just has to fade a 4. And there's a 5. 2 pair is going to make Nate feel a lot better about his hand, I would imagine. He checks, and Howard, now with showdown value, can either bluff or check and pray that a pair of 5s is actually good. He is going to take his showdown and see the bad news.
Yeah.
Nicely played by Nate. That definitely took some guts to hang in there versus the big stack.
I wonder what would have happened if the 5 didn't come on the river. Was Howard gonna fire? Was Nate gonna call? But Howard gets enough showdown value at the end there just to check back. So we will never know.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, Howard actually makes some kind of hand there on the river, but might have been to his detriment. If he misses, he probably considers bluffing again, and it's going to be tough for Nate to call off another barrel.
Yeah, and it's going to be for all of it if he fires. So the world will never know.
J.R. Losis thought Nate may go for value there. Yeah, it crossed my mind as well. That's also, if Nate thought he was bluffing and able to continue with a pair of 6s, the one way he's going to get more value is in an over-bluff spot to just check call. So I would have leaned that direction as well.
Yeah, I prefer check there as played. And they're talking about it now. He's like, I was wondering if you were going to go for it on the river. I think he said what he was going to do. I think he said he was going to call, but again, the world will never know. I think he was going to call. I think him calling turn was saying, I'm calling. Dead to a 4, he says.
Bill takes down a small pot.
Actually, I hit the 5 on the river. That's the reason. Okay, I was like, hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah.
10-8 off for Carlos, and that'll find its way back to Michael. There's a king-queen suited for Howard. Pretty nice hand to wake up with on the button. Nate's chopped him down a bit to, well, 3.3, now 3.46 million after picking up those blinds. Everybody kind of just trying to wait out Carlos. Most of the other players with relatively comfortable stacks to kind of try to see if he can double up or be eliminated before getting in a big confrontation with one of the other middling stacks.
Yeah, it's nice to get an extra $2,000 and then go for
Yeah.
a double up. And Carlos's chip stack going to be a little bit more off as they graphics give that pot to Bill.
Yeah, Carlos not about to blind out. And speaking of the blinds, they've gone up to 30,000, 60,000 with, of course, the big blind ante.
Yeah, the blinds are nothing to joke about at this point. Five-handed Mike gonna get rid of those extra chairs, let everybody else get a little more comfortable. Five-handed, nobody gonna be anywhere near anyone anyway. Folded around a Bill on the button with ace-10 off. Plenty of hand here. Gonna open up to 200K. And Nate going to let him have it with the 6-deuce off. No need for shenanigans. Again, Carlos does not have 155K there. He's got closer to 750, so he's not in trouble right now, as Keller's taking a break. Not missing much with the 10-3 off. Folded to Carlos on the button, and he's got a very pretty hand with the king-queen suited. Just gonna rip it here, and now we can get an accurate count of his stack. 665 is his real stack. And Howard with queen 10 in the big blind. Not an easy decision here. $665. It's about 11 big blinds. And Howard has the chips to make the call. Nice lay down. Not going to do it. That would have been kind of the spot Carlos was looking for. Great double up spot. And Howard's going to deny it.
What's your cutoff in terms of number of big blinds to make the call with queen 10 there, if that's you?
Call with queen 10. It would matter how many chips I have and then who's doing the shoving. But someone like Carlos, I would need it to be 7 or less.
A couple of aces for Bill. He's been a little bit on the quieter side of late, but here comes a raise, 150K at the 60K big blind level.
How fast can everyone fold?
Yeah, just
The 7-6 was the best other hand.
You know, people always talk about being card dead, but I always argue spot dead is so much more key.
Yeah.
You can have all the great starting hands you want, but if you can't find good spots when your opponents have something to play back at you with, tough to make a lot of chips.
Yeah, it's just irrelevant. He called with queen 10, honey.
I remember that. Great quote. That might be my favorite chat in a while.
Yeah.
That's good.
You just remember the whole hand now.
Raised to 125K by Carlos, ace 9, and Keller. King Jack suited. Three bet comes in. Julia. Get the size here. Looks like 5'7", 5'15".
Yeah, there's not been a lot of 3-bets, and Carlos, recognizing that, is going to lay down the ace-9. Great play by Keller there. Getting the better hand to fold. Really just putting Carlos in a spot to play for it all or not. And Carlos with the ace-9, not willing.
Usually by now we'll have a more defined chip leader, but basically we have a four-way essential stalemate at the top, relatively speaking, and then Carlos trying to stay afloat and putting up a good fight. Bill's got a couple of queens, and he's going to play it sneaky.
Praying for a queen. The only way he can get paid, probably.
Yeah, I tried to trap Carlos into a light jam there, and
gonna get
now he's
some.
he's gonna get more value this way. Quick raise, and Carlos probably gonna exit stage left.
Yeah, Bill very aware of how important the chips in the middle are to Carlos, letting him take a small stab at it. Carlos trying to say bet 50K, not 75.
We couldn't have bet the big blind 60K, so he has to bet obviously at least that.
Yeah.
So I guess we're trying to get a 15K discount.
Yeah, let's see if he's able to do it.
A little tough to hear on the headset. I did not hear a sizing verbalized, but does not mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, I saw one ship going first and the other two. It was in his hand. I know. Yeah, I know. This is the floor and confirm it.
Whatever you decide.
Yeah.
Try to listen in.
Yeah.
Julia speaking to a floor manager, which I imagine is actually our tournament director, Josh. Looks like 75K is going to stand, and Bill going to take down that pot.
Appeal no good.
Yeah, I think it didn't seem like the appeal was going to work, but every chip obviously matters a lot to Carlos at this juncture. He's got under 10 bigs.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Carlos saying he had outs against Bill's queens. That story about as believable as the I bet 50K.
The ducks for Bill makes it 200, and that's good enough to take down the blinds. Kyle Frisbee and John Good joining you from the booth here in Austin on this Memorial Day. Hope everyone is having a good, safe one out there.
Yeah, a beautiful day. It actually started raining a tiny bit on my way in, but it was one of those nice, calm, gentle rains that kind of just cool you off.
Yeah, I got one of those too. Yeah, nice summertime shower.
Mm-hmm.
My son's 11, 11, 11.
Bill gonna limp with the Queen Jack offsuit. Nate says not even gonna complete with the 5-3-0, and Howard gonna check his inferior queen here, so we'll see a flop heads up. King Jack 6. Middle pair for Bill, and he'll bet and take it. Couple pots in a row for Mr. Bill Cox in the 5 seat. Local tournament legend.
Yep, Bill Cox chipping up, taking down turns. What a life.
Every 10 years of my birthday until the year 2000. I would be a double-digit age.
Bill got another good hand to limp
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, we've seen players open a little wider, but yeah, he goes the limper out. I was about to say a little wider under the gun with some suited jacks and kings. Nate with Queen 10, and Bill's been pretty active.
Yeah.
There's the raise from Nate with the button.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you limp with the 7-8 suited, it does exactly what you want with a hand like Queen 10 to make them not incentivized to raise here. Nate, seeing through that, gonna go ahead and raise anyway.
Pretty nice flop for the Queen 10, top pair, gut shot, and pair for Bill, and another jack on the turn. And min bet from Bill, bets about 10% pot.
Nate's gonna click it.
Yeah, Nate pounces and makes a raise. Bill, undeterred, makes a quick call.
What an interesting hand. That would have been a fun turn.
Bill checks the river, trying to get to a showdown with his pair of eights, and Nate gonna ask for some more value. He goes very small and gets a call, and he's gonna show down a winner. Nicely played by Nate. I think pretty much the max value he was gonna get out of that hand in that spot.
Yeah, I agree. It felt like close to max value there.
Had to go a little outside the box with his sizing too, and that's something you'll see Nate. I don't know everyone's Hendon Mob, but I know he has an impressive one, and as well as some circuit rings. So
Yeah.
very strong resume for as a tournament player, and certainly showed there.
Yeah, great resume, but very creative way to play that hand there. Just checking back flop with the top pair and the draw, and then getting the value on the turn once, Bill went ahead and believed that his 8 could be good there by Nate checking the flop. So, a different way to play a hand and a fun way to see. There's different ways of thinking.
Raise to 120 with the king 5 suited, and that's going to get a 4-bet from the ace queen of Howard on the button. And both of these players relatively deep. Nate wants to know how many chips Howard has.
I don't think he should, but Nate's hand functions really well as a 4-bet here, bluff.
Yeah, he's going to let it go, and that's a great point, John. I was thinking it, couldn't quite get it out, but yeah, the suited kings like that, solvers often like them as a 4-bet in similar spots when you have a button raise from chip leader who could be a little bit wider. Not in that case, but good lay down by Nate, and good pickup by Howard. He's up to $3.5 million.
Yeah, it's probably never a good idea to try and get somebody off ace queen 5-handed, but that is what that 4-bet is supposed to do. But in a different world.
Nate's got king queen suited UTG, and he'll raise it up to 140. Touch over 2x. Bill with the suited king going to come along from the small blind. Carlos with queen 9, kind of getting a price here. But queen 9 going to be dominated in a lot of spots like this. Obviously easy for me to say seeing the cards, but going to do a little inventory and decide how to proceed. Is going to make the call, so 4 ways, 480K in the middle. Excuse me, 3 ways. Ace high flop that nobody wanted to see. Might be a bit of an action killer. We'll see.
Yeah, if anyone's gonna stab, it will be Nate. And the fact that it's the ace of hearts kind of gives you a little bit more courage.
Yeah, definite range advantage, and he's going to take that down a high percentage of the time once it checks over to him from the blinds. Pretty classic spot where your range advantage is almost certain to take down the pot unless Carlos check raises all in, which is kind of the one disaster. Carlos down to just 4 bigs. Gonna have to find a spot very quick. Bill's got a spot though. He's got Cowboys on the button.
Yeah, Carlos is not wanting this today. Yeah, lucky for him, he doesn't wake up with a good hand. And Bill probably gonna show it. Yeah. No action for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and Bill, a savvy player. Some people criticize showing at all, but I would imagine that's with the thought in mind of I want to get some respect for my open raises when I'm trying to steal some pots later down the road.
Yeah.
Carlos all in, king 7.
Oh, Nate.
Nate, king, queen, and just this is sometimes how the cookie crumbles. Gets a call from a dominating hand. Howard, queen 3 is going to find the muck, and Carlos looking for a 7 or a lot of hearts.
Giving him the nice hand early as he's got some opportunities on the flop here.
7-8 deuce does not come, and the king queen of Nate's going to eliminate Carlos.
Good game, Carlos. Hung around for a long time with that stack.
Yeah, nicely played, and 55-70 for his efforts. All these players now locking up 7,300, and the pay jump's starting to get very real. The next one puts you in 5 figures at over 11K, so basically the forthcoming pay jumps are around the amount of 6th to 7th place money in its entirety. And then there were no shorties. Bill, couple of jacks. Gonna raise again. Just showed kings last time he opened the pot. Shows again, and just gonna take down the blinds and antes.
I just get dealt big pairs. Easy game.
Shown about half the pairs on the deck in the last 40 minutes.
He's had aces, kings, jacks, queens, deuces.
Deuces. Needs to be on the list.
You did not have aces? Oh. I thought you had
I
aces.
had aces.
Couple of fives for Nate.
Oh yeah, no action. Those are only the ones he's shown.
Opens to 135. He'll take it down. See the 3-bet percents definitely favoring the bigger stacks, as you might assume.
It started with the double barrel. Now, that was only 600 though. Got a lot more since then.
7-6 suited for Bill in the small blind. He'll limp in, and Nate with another pocket pair. He's got 4s this time. Gonna go ahead and make the raise 300,000. 200, excuse me. 2 blue chips. Ace, ace, 5. C-bet from Nate. We'll take it.
Yeah, good flop for Nate, but you don't want to see too many more cards after that. You start getting counterfeit, overs. Go ahead and take it down there.
Yeah, Nate really building a chip stack. Actually tied for the lead with Howard, and the real pivot point was that earlier hand where he hung in there tough with the 6-5 on a king-high board versus Howard, and it's really only been upward from there.
Yeah, that was the big turning point.
Small pairs going around the table. Keller, a couple of 3s. Makes the raise over to Howard in the big blind. He's got 9-7-0. He's going to go ahead and see a flop. Ace deuce Trey. And that is a set for Keller, just praying that Howard somehow has an ace.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's 9 high and not likely to get a ton of value. Goes very small. Or excuse me, that's had the denominations wrong. 115 actually.
Keller's got to be excited to have Howard's cards not be in the muck yet. Yeah, I figured Howard might be getting creative. A lot of times it's going to be great raise. This is not one of those times.
Keller having a look back. Indeed, that is middle set. Obviously, Howard can be making a move in this spot, but Keller just praying that somehow he has an ace. He can get paid. Gonna go with the smooth call. Give him some more rope.
Yeah, I prefer a just call there. Even though there is the spade draw present, you gotta just flat with some of your stronger hands or you're not gonna get paid. You have to not be afraid to die.
Howard gonna keep telling the story. 450. Front door flush obviously does get there.
Yeah, Keller's not going to be going anywhere, but he is not as excited as he was on the flop. But when we choose to trap, we cannot fold to one bet when the flush draw gets there.
Queen of clubs doesn't change a ton. Obviously, King Jack does get there.
If you're going to be going for these kind of bluffs, this is the bet you have to go for. You have to be willing to pull the third barrel.
And it's a big barrel. Looks like $1 million.
And Keller hates it.
Yeah, Keller in a bit of agony here.
It's a cool hoodie.
Ton of heart from Howard. He's done all this with 9 high the whole way.
Yeah, fantastic bluff by Howard here. I'm not sure if he's going to get it through, but if you're going to bluff, you have to go for the third bullet here. This is the bullet that's going to get it done, and it's the bullet that has all of the money in the middle. You know, you've built this pot. Now you got to go get it. Oh, my, I think Keller's going to fold. Holy guacamole, I think he's gonna fold. And Howard has not been out of line much this tournament. Keller is just thinking, you've got a flush.
And I am fairly certain that Howard, obviously, he's chosen to bluff into one of the strongest hands that Keller's going to have. Imagine he would not have been trying to get a set to fold, but does get a run out where it gives him a shot at it.
No, you're targeting more of an ace-king, ace-jack type hand at this point. But
I think Keller just trying to decide, does he want to continue playing the tournament if he's only got about 11, 12 bigs left?
Keller just in the blender, moving around with the pineapples and strawberries, making a smoothie. Oh, he's gonna fold. Oh no.
I think he shrug calls.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I said it after he picked up the blue chips, but I just feel like a set.
Oh, and he finds it. And he finds it.
Massive call.
Keller.
Huge pot for Keller.
Yeah, pot of the tournament. Great call by Keller. Phenomenal bluff by Howard going for it.
Ton of respect to both players.
Yeah, and he almost gets him off it. Keller finds it in the end. Great call. Maybe having that 3 of spades helped him. Just that little bit extra that he needed at the end there. But huge props to Howard.
Yeah, and Howard now suddenly sitting on the short stack, but still plenty of playability. He's got over 20 bigs.
Yeah, and that's another good point I like about the bluff. Even if it didn't work, he's still in a good enough spot that he can come back and win this tournament. As long as he stays level-headed, he doesn't let that bluff affect him. Oh, never mind, he's all in.
Ace 10.
Oh, ace 10 versus ace 9.
Might get his chips
Keller
right
has
back.
to call.
Yeah, blind versus blind, ace 9 suited, and
Just a huge shove by Howard here. But I think he's going to get almost all of his chips right back if he holds. I don't see a world where Keller can fold ace 9 suited here, blind versus blind. Oh!
gets rid of it.
Wow.
Nice fold. And Keller, he is zigging and zagging at the right times versus Howard.
Yeah, that is an above the rim fold there.
I
I'm
think he was
surprised.
1 pip off. I think if he has ace 10 suited, he pretty much snaps.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we've all seen it where a player takes a beat like that, or loses a big pot. And sometimes you can try to use that to your advantage. You wake up with a monster next hand and just try to make it look like you spaz
Yeah.
shove.
Yeah, that could have been going through Keller's head as well. This guy hasn't spazzed the whole time. He's not going to spaz now. He's just using this image of what just happened. Great read by Keller. 2 hands in a row.
Queen Jack is going to make a raise from Nate, and Keller not getting to come up for air. He's got ace king this time.
Yeah, he's got that momentum going in the right direction. Is that a flat? He is going to flat against Nate. Risky business.
Queen 3-4 rainbow. Nate does check, does favor the blind's range, and Keller going to go ahead and take a stab. Nate did pick up a gutter with his 2 overs.
Yeah, very interesting spot. Where Keller is now value betting, but he's repping the board with a very under-repped hand here.
Keller's going to slow down, and Nate could even... There's a world where queen high is good, given Keller's in the small blind, but might opt to try to get pair of 3s, pair of 4s to fold at this juncture.
Yeah, I think Nate would have checked back if he put Keller on Jack 10 exactly. But I think there's just too many different king high, ace high type hands that you could get off of it right now. But Keller, as played, just going to call with the ace high and be right again.
Wow.
This man can do no wrong.
He is on fire in his decision making, particularly.
Yeah, a very interesting way to
off.
play the hand, and it gets him the absolute maximum value there. Yeah, I'm surprised Keller bet as well as played.
No hesitation either, and was not a small barrel.
No, that was almost a full pot size bet by Nate there.
Keller really starting to separate himself. He's got over 5 million, and next closest stack less than half in Nate. Bill
Yeah.
C and Howard.
Yeah, he's almost got as much as the other 3 combined. Not quite, but almost.
Luck distribution. Yeah, Bill heavily weighted toward those good starting hands, but Bill not really getting a ton of action with those. So as we were talking about,
lucky
might
to
not
get them, but
yeah,
not lucky to be paid. Didn't matter too much.
Bill's all in with 2 4s.
Yeah, just applying the pressure here. Nate not gonna want to fold here.
King Jack 4-handed. Hand strength's obviously changing the shorter handed you get, but not going to be good enough to call off that percent of his stack.
Yeah, just worried about mainly ace highs there, like ace fives type things that you just don't want to split at that time. Did you see that Hijack's doing a 25K free roll today? Memorial Day free roll?
Yeah. That's awesome one. I went deep in one of the Sunday tournaments yesterday. It's a lot of fun. Just a $5 buy-in with a $20 add-on. Got a pretty nice prize pool.
Yeah, I love those tourneys.
Bill all in with the ace-king. Not going to mess around.
Snap fold by ace-6 in the big blind. Good stuff. He's seen some really good poker at this table.
Yeah, I'm the least familiar with Howard's game, but based on watching him play, he seems like a pretty experienced tournament player that's probably been in these spots more than I'm aware. And the other 3, of course, very well known in the Austin area for tons of tournament success. So I couldn't agree more, John. Yeah, we've seen some of the highest level final table play you'll see, particularly in a non-main event or high roller type tournament.
Yeah, they're playing much higher level than the buy-in of the tournament.
Howard going to limp the 3-4 suited, and Keller not going to stand for limping. He's got 8-3 off, and he's going to raise. 3-4 is going to find the muck. Keller with now the ICM pressure is really going to come into play with Keller. He's going to be able to really lean on all these shorter stacks given the pay jumps and the fact that they're relatively uniform, although Howard with half of what Bill and Nate have at present time. And Nate, a couple of 10s.
Yeah, the 3 people other than Keller's stack sizes are perfect for Keller to apply pressure. Everybody else with enough chips to believe that you can still win the tournament, but not enough chips that you can survive a big hit from Keller and move on.
Heads up to Jack 9 deuce rainbow, and 10 still good here for Nate. Check, check. King on the turn, not a great turn card for Nate's holding, and Bill gonna pounce. It's like 110 from Bill. And a min-click-ish raise from Nate. Not believing Bill, and does so correctly, and he'll pick up a nice pot.
Yeah, just denying equity to the random aces and queens of the world.
Blocks the straight. Double blocks. Ace queen for Bill, really picking up some premiums. You're short-handed. Has not seen any action, but raises to 190, and Nate shows he's going to fold the queen 4. Comment in the chat about Bill not getting called there with ace king because he showed some strong hands in the past. Yeah, that certainly can play a factor, and actually heard the saying that you kind of want to go from bluffs to value if you can. It can work both ways, though. If you show down some strong hands, you have a chance to pick up some pots on the lighter side later. I think the real key is just to kind of know what your table image should be based on your latest trends, but pretty big jam as well. I don't think Howard's going to be calling with, what was it, ace-6? Yeah, ace-6, the worst ace, is just not going to be calling that many bigs. Howard down to $1 million at the 80K big blind. And as you mentioned earlier, John, as we get short, or as we are short here, those blinds and big blind ante are going to come around pretty quick when you're sitting on the short stack. Race from Bill, and Nate going to come along with the 9-10 suited.
Look at all the 9s. Almost everyone had a 9. Nate with the 9-10 suited on the button. Very playable, fun hand.
And that's a fun flop. Open ender for Nate and gut shot for Bill.
Yeah, both players with the straight draw. Bill got him dominated with the queen high, but Nate with the better draw.
Reaching for raising chips. I stand corrected. Makes the call. Gonna go a little slower here.
Yeah, looks like he changed his mind. A queen would be disaster for Bill. All in, Bill.
Wow. Gonna deny equity from Nate's draw.
Nate hates it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel the pain.
Begrudgingly lets it go, and nice, well-timed move to bluff with the over and the gutter for Bill, and Nate with the exact type of hand for that spot.
Yeah, you want just to see one more card at a decent price, and Bill not going to allow it.
Quick reminder of what we're playing for. $400 buy-in. This is the Showdown at the Capitol from TCH Social in Austin, Texas. 24-6 up top, and all these players have locked up $7,300. Next payout, just over $11K. Raise from Keller with 7-6. Gonna lean on his opponents and take down another pot. I think we're going to see some pretty interesting hands here down the stretch, John, with the remaining players, and relatively deep, so we get to see some post-flop action. Of course, blinds going up every 20 minutes in this structure.
Yeah, we've got a very interesting dynamic with these players who have just played so many hands together, so many levels to the hands that they're playing.
King Queen all in for Howard, and Bill looks like he's asking for a count, and he's got King Jack. Actually, this would be a great spot for Howard to try to get back in the tournament.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Bill's going to fold here. And
Makes
he makes
the call.
Quick fold by Nate with the 3-4-0. And let's race, boys. Howard got him dominated for now, but Bill is known for being lucky. He plays great, but he knows what to do in spots like this.
Eight, 9-4. Howard's still in the lead.
Yeah, club's not working for Bill. Howard's got him dominated there as well. He could chop now.
Got a faded Jack 9 or 8 and does do it. And so Bill now going to be on the short stack, and Howard, kind of a dream spot if you're going to jam King Queen and get called by a king that you dominate. Can't ask for much better, and works out well that time.
Yeah, Howard and Bill essentially going to trade spots here.
I know you were all rooting for me.
What?
And I appreciate it.
Honestly, it is what it is. However it comes, it comes. It's anybody's game.
I want to thank everybody who's hopped in chat thus far. Once again, happy Memorial Day. Kyle Frisbee and John Good in the booth this afternoon and evening. Seven, 8 suited for Nate in the small blind is going to be good enough to go ahead and call. And Howard says, let's see a flop with his Jack 3.
Yeah, just a limp by Nate. Very playable post-flop hand.
10-10 deuce.
Very dry board. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Nate's going to stab. It's a good board just to bet at because on a paired board, heads up, it's just so hard to have anything. As you see, Howard happy to call with Jack high.
King of hearts on the turn.
Nate gonna continue to apply pressure, but gonna go small. And Howard with Jack high gonna call again. Just not buying what Nate is selling.
Yeah, and what size does Nate choose here?
It's the deuce counterfeits both.
He's going to go ahead and slow down, and Howard probably realizing they have a likelihood of a chop. He's going to try to get him off of it. He goes 2/3 pot.
Great bet by Howard. Very impressive analysis of where he's at in the hand.
Lawrence in chat with an interesting take on the Bill versus Nate hand, and yeah, I can definitely see that. It says he was able to deduce Nate's hand based on the indecision to whether to check raise or not, and that's entirely feasible. Be a subtle tell, but it did appear that Nate at least considered the check raise.
Yeah. Interesting.
Couple of 9s for Howard. Pretty big hand, 4-handed. That'll take down the blinds and ante.
Keller gonna snap fold the ace-4.
Couple of 7s for Keller, and it's going to put Bill all in and take it down. Ace queen now for Howard. $225 is the raise, and he'll take it. He chooses to show the ace queen. Ace-4 for Keller. Good enough to open the pot, and quick call on the button by Bill with Jack-8 off. Does have position a little on the wider side for flatting on relatively short number of big blinds. Deuce tray 7, and Keller is just going to rip it with ace high. Nothing Bill can do but let the Jack-8 go. Keller closing in on $6 million in chips, and now definitely covers the other players in aggregate.
Yeah, it's a good place to be late in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely one of the most fun spots at a poker table, but always have to try to balance that with gets a walk, not being reckless with your stack.
Yeah, that's the hard thing, not getting too out of control when everything's going your way.
But Keller's about 7 for his last 7 in terms of decision making, so
yeah, he's every decision he's made has just been correct.
Yeah. Couple of walks in a row. Bill, the beneficiary, with the suited Dolly Parton.
Yeah. If I know anything about poker spells, 2 walks usually means the third hand there's an all-in and a call.
See the beautiful Showdown at the Capitol trophy on the table just near Nate's orange hat. We'll go to tonight's champion, along with $24,600. Pocket fives for Keller on the button. Good enough to make it 200,000.
There's the all-in from Bill.
Quick all-in from Bill with Queen 9 suited. He's had enough of Keller. Queen 10 suited goes in the muck for Nate, and I think we might be about to see a big flip here. Would bode well for Keller as Nate has folded one of Bill's outs. Does make the call, and Bill gonna be at risk with Queen 9 of hearts.
That spell always works. 2 walks, all in and call.
Yeah, you accurately predicted. And Bill did not run well in his last all-in, so we'll see if he can pull a rabbit out of the hat here. Does not on an 8 high flop. Some backdoor potential. And that's some of it. Now with a heart draw, 12 outs for Bill Cox.
Oh,
and that is one of them.
That's
and
one.
Saved by the river, and Bill now up to 2.3 million, and Keller taking a hit to his stack. Still considerable chip leader, however.
Yeah, Keller hasn't lost a hand in so long. I wonder if he remembers how.
Mike going to count down Bill's stack and let Keller know the price. JR in chat saying what timing from Bill? Certainly.
Right on time for the Coxinator.
I think it kind of goes without saying. He was probably hoping to take that down pre-flop, but I'm sure he was happy to see it was a flip once he's called. You're going to have a fair amount of Keller's calling range constituted of hands that dominate you.
Yeah, king queens, ace nines type hands.
Well, right back to it is Keller. He's got ace queen this time. Just take it down. Now Nate getting somewhat dangerously low. He's paying the big blind and antes away from being at about 10 bigs. Walk for Keller with king queen. Keller limps a small blind with 6 high and Bill just going to rip it with ace-6 and take it down. Pretty big rip with his newly doubled up stack.
Yeah, huge rip. Really forcing Keller to have it there.
Queen Jack for Bill. Gonna raise to 240. $7-5 finds the muck for Nate, and Bill gonna chip up over $2.5 million. All in from Nate, Queen 10-0 in the small blind, and Howard's got a king in the big blind. He'll show it, but they'll find the muck. So Nate will buy himself another orbit. It looks like we've come to a player break, and as well as a color up from Josh Adkins, our tournament director here at TCH Austin. And with that, I'm going to take a break as well. Kyle Frisbee and John Good with y'all. We'll be back with you guys probably a little before the players return. In the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, throw them in the chat. Happy to interact with you guys, but gonna get myself a cold beverage and be right back.
Racehorse for all of it?
Yeah.
Winner take all racehorse? I'm in.
Yeah. Let's start a new game called Cuckoo.
Yes.
Can I tell you about them?
Yeah.
Alright, they're like bomb pots, right? But essentially, like, you want to make it a little bit bigger than like a normal bomb pot, so you make it like 20 or 25. Maybe 8 max. And how they work is it's a bomb pot hand, how it's dealt, like 2 flops. First person act has to pot it or fold. Oh, they pot it or fold. And then it's no more betting after that.
It's the best game. Super quick.
Oh, dude.
Sick action.
Dealers will make heaps at that table.
Super quick.
Like, for real.
Serious cooking action.
Yes.
You know what game I want to become popular?
What?
Portugal.
Never heard of it.
5-card Omaha High. High only, 5 cards. Steal up. The only thing is, before anything happens, before anybody even acts, the dealer takes 1 card from the flop and puts it face up. So you get to know 1 card from the flop before you make any action.
So you have to bet off the 1 card.
So then it's the same. Like that, it's still considered pre-flop betting.
Four.
After that's complete, it comes out the 2 other cards, and then everything's normal from there. But you have 5 cards in your hand plus 1 card on the board before any betting happens.
Dude, it's sick. It sounds amazing.
No, no.
I need to leave.
No, you're good.
I'm going to try to get the, what's it called? Poison.
768,500.
Yes.
He says I need to turn this into. Oh yeah, we need a bitch.
Yeah, just like Progress. What would you like? Just like Howie.
Howie? Yeah. Good. Howie.
Yeah.
Cool. It's not going to change right now because you're already in, but next time you come in, it'll say Howie.
Oh, I was just looking at my characters. I was trying to see what it's like. Yeah, I'm trying to see what it's like. You got all checked out. Sure. Check on that. You guys need anything before we get started? Any drinks or anything before we get started? Let's go.
And we are right back into the action here as Howard picks up tens into Bill's ace-queen. Both players getting their money in as fast as they can. Four-handed, who can blame them? Premium for both players. The tens looking good so far. And Bill down to the river. Again, is he going to get there? Not this time. Tens are going to hold up for Howard. And Bill is going to take a huge hit to his stack, down to 325K. It's about 3 1/4 big blinds. And he's going to be the big blind next hand. More bad news for Bill. But amazing news for Howard as he's going to double up almost to Keller's stack. But I believe not quite. Howard gonna ask how much Bill has and raise to that amount. Keller, with a real one, not gonna be letting that be the amount they play for. Just goes all in, not gonna mess around with Howard here. And Bill, of course, gonna be forced to call.
9 on the flop.
He's got some life.
Gonna need river help once again. Does not come.
Bill. Good game. He finally falls. And that ace queen versus tens really gonna be the one, but Keller gonna finish him off with the kings.
Another great run from the legend himself, Bill Cox. He'll finish in 4th place for 73.20. And all these players now in the 5-figure realm, 11K plus, 24-6 up top.
Yeah, it's a good place to be. Guaranteed 11K. And really anyone's tournament. Of course, Howard and Keller would have a big chip lead over Nate here, but anything can happen three-handed. You're all going to be forced to play hands. It's going to be forced to get it in. You win one flip, you win two flips, just like that. You're the chip leader. Nate going to be big blind alone here.
King 3 suited, good enough to put Nate all in, and he'll toss his chips over to Keller. Got a speed shuffle from Julia. Wow, she really ripped that one.
Yeah, great dealing by Julia tonight. Howard just gonna get a walk with Nate not feeling it with the 5-6. Would have had Howard dominated, but how could he ever know that?
Blinds up to 50, 100K, and Nate sitting on 8 1/4 blinds. Gonna have to make a move here very shortly.
Yeah, and the button, I would say this is a pretty good candidate now, Jack 3.
Looks like they're going in.
Yeah, with the button, it's just too good of a spot to try and steal.
Does leave himself some behind in case somehow aces versus kings happened. Might be one of the reasons. But good enough to take it down, and going to be pretty pleased with that with the Jack 3 suited. Blind versus blind, and Keller just going to put Nate all in with 9-4.
Oh, looks like Nate finally finds a call. He's going to be pleased. Oh,
Queens for Nate. Wow.
Great call by Nate here. Nate just looking at him like, really? 9-4, bro? It's any two?
Beautiful flop, and Keller down to runner. It's not come, and Nate.
Big double.
2 million in chips and 20 bigs. He can maneuver again.
And we see Keller's first kind of misstep. And he's just applying pressure there, I understand, but 9-4 off might be the threshold for me. But he's just shoving any two there, obviously.
Kind of levels things at the top. Howard and Keller pretty close. 4 and 4.5 million respectively, and Nate one double from being right in the mix.
Yeah. Now Nate can do some damage with this stack. Yeah, we need a little more drama on the all-ins, Julia. We're here for the drama.
I do have to say on some of the big final tables you see on like Triton or maybe WSOP, I would just be languishing if I was one of the players all in, how slow they do the
10
round.
minutes
Yeah,
for each
it's like,
card.
Could I just know my fate, please? Particularly if you're way behind, too.
Yeah, it's painful. Just rip that Band-Aid
Actually,
off.
either way, that's pretty rough. But
That's
Nate gonna limp the button with Jack 8 suited. Howard also limps, and we'll see a Texas heads up, although just 3 ways. 9 for Trey. Nobody connecting.
I'm wondering with the 9. Yeah, with the 9 of clubs here, I think is just enough for Nate to put a little tickler out there, and luckily for him, nobody has anything. Just take that pot down.
Yeah, and just like we were saying, Nate now able to maneuver a little bit, can do things like that and pick up a pot. Without much of a hand.
Yep.
And that's the Rockets for Keller.
Yeah, Keller thinking to himself, why couldn't I have these against his queens?
Nate quickly folding the Jack 4, and Keller takes a longing look back at the aces before returning them to Julia. I don't blame him. Wouldn't know from his body language. Actually, one thing I've noticed, you'll see in tournaments, people don't get action with a monster, and you can see it kind of tilt them. Definitely not a good habit for winning poker. Got to kind of let those roll off. Not always going to get action with your monsters.
Yeah.
Ace deuce suited for Keller, 225. Button raising. Howard's got king queen off, and pretty good hand, 3-handed.
Yeah, we could play. He is going to go the aggressive route and 3-bet. This has the makings for a big pot, depending on what Keller does. Yeah, with the button, with the suited ace, too much hand, too much position. Let's play a big one.
Nate got to be rooting for a big cooler here. Ace,
Yeah.
Jack 5, top pair, gutter for Howard to Broadway.
Yeah, if one of them takes the other one out, it's just $6,000 for Nate. Dream spot.
It's the pre-flop aggressor. Keller, 3-handed. You feel better about the weak ace, but Howard does have some bigger aces here, so he's going to proceed with the call. And there's 2 pair for Keller, and got to feel great about his hand at this point. See if Howard wants to slow down. He's been shown to continue through with some of these big bluffs. He's going to slow down at this time, and
I know you have a vulnerable hand here with Keller, but I would not mind a check back here at all. I think in a 3-bet pot, Howard is either going to be way ahead or way behind. If he has his spades, then so be it, but I think we got to give him some rope.
I like small as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this small is...
And I mean, Howard can call with just the gut shot for this price.
Mm-hmm. And you could spaz out and raise. He is just going to call. Oh, there's the 10!
Oh, my goodness. What a river for Howard. Just spikes the stones on the river, and Keller.
Yeah, like I was saying, Keller, you got to protect your hand and go big on the turn there. You can't give him any rope.
And Howard now.
Oh,
SPR is right at 1.
Yeah, just a dream river. Not completing the flush draw either, so it just looks that much more bluffy.
Got to be thinking about what does that small turn bet mean? Is that weakness or a monster? And he's going to ask for all of it. or nearly all of it. It is all of it. He's going to do
Yeah. Yeah, he did basically all of it with the 2.5 million, leaving himself 125K behind.
Keller found the call versus Howard with a set on a very similarly scary run out for his holding, and this is essentially the same spot.
Yeah, this would be incredible to fold here. I mean, it is an extremely strong line by Howard, but when he just calls the 300K on the turn, what strong hands can Howard have that he's not needing to protect against the flush draws? Like, it's just going to be a bluff so often.
Yeah, unless he has this exact hand, really. It makes the call, and
Yeah,
Howard's
he
going
has
to win
to.
a monster.
He has to. And Nate can't believe it. Nate, possibly the only person more excited than Howard here. How do they play that monster pot?
Took
How
a
does
perfect
the 10
run out.
come?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Keller's just got to be sick.
Yeah, the 10 doesn't come. Keller probably just runs this tournament over. And now he's got
fumes.
crumbs.
Yeah, 7.5 bigs.
Yeah, it does. It looks so bluffy, right? And it's like, what can you do in that spot? Like you said, it's just the exact same spot as earlier when he calls with the set, and he's right. And it's great setup by Howard, great play, unbelievable river.
Definitely now Howard's tournament to win. He's got his opponents with 7.5 and 20 big blinds, and ace queen for Nate.
Yeah, Nate thinking kill shot here with Keller on fumes. I was thinking he might limp there. He set it up nicely.
Oh, and tens for Howard, the rich.
Oh,
richer,
and he's just going to shove.
Yeah.
And Nate is going to be in a horrific spot here.
Oh, wow. Absolute.
And he calls. Keller can't believe it. Oh, this is ICM suicide, but what
monster
can you do?
flip, yeah. 4.2 million, and Nate, his tournament life at risk. 7.75. Only help is backdoor hearts.
Slow it down, Julia.
Let's get that overhead camera. And looks like
GG.
Howard
not be pulling his chips back. And
so
Nate
good game to Nate.
Can't believe it. Wow.
Unbelievable. And Keller can't believe it either. He just laddered up 6K after a disastrous river card on the previous hand. And Nate going to exit with $11,000, and Keller locking up 17K, and they're going to play heads up for about $9,000.
Yeah, and Keller just has no chips. He's got like 6 big blinds.
Yeah, what a spot for Howard.
Yeah, he's got to be saying, I can't believe that just happened. Keller goes from just being so sad to so happy, but still not gaining any chips. And Keller just going to be waiting for a good enough high card hand to go with. Howard. How does he drill that 10?
Yeah, definitely the run out of the final table, essentially determining the winner.
Yeah, for sure. Howard doesn't even really need to look here, just shoving everything.
Ace queen, and Keller's going to be like, how do you have ace queen there when I have king jack suited? He has a shot. Should be way ahead.
Such a good hand, right?
Instead, 60-40.
Yeah,
and that's basically going to lock it up.
Wow.
A little bit of hope. Keller looking for a queen and a queen only.
Two-pair?
Does not come, and Howard, he's going to be the winner of the showdown at the Capitol. well played to all these players. Keller taking down second place money, 17,270 headed his way, and very nicely played by Howard. Showed a lot of heart with some big bluff attempts, although it did get called. And Keller, just an absolute cooler with 2 pair versus the River Broadway of Howard, kind of sealed his fate.
I mean, really, that was one of the best final tables I've watched in a long time. The play was above the rim. The rivers were there. It had it all. And Howard gonna be the one with all the dust settling to leave with the trophy.
Yeah, the beautiful limestone trophy you see just to the right of your graphic there below the TCH Live sign. And $24,600 to Howard. And that's going to wrap things up from TCH Social in Austin, Texas. This has been the Showdown at the Capitol. Howard is our champion. Everybody have a safe remainder of your Memorial Day weekend. Kyle Frisbee and John Goods signing off. Have a great week, everybody.